Hey, what's up guys? Joker here. I hope you're all doing well. I just got back from New York. I was at the Acer Next event. It was actually being held in Brooklyn at the Brooklyn Navy Yard. Absolutely awesome time. Really cool event. I go every single year. I actually brought the missus along with me this time. And I was really excited to get this video out to you guys today because I saw what is absolutely my perfect dream monitor, something that I've been waiting for like forever, to just see all of these specs. And then it's just like, okay, here it is. And I'm just like, okay, now I need it. I need it in my life immediately. Unfortunately, don't have a release date yet, release window or price on it, but we do have tons of specs and I do have some footage of it, and I got a chance to get hands-on with the monitor at the event. So the monitor in question is a 43-inch 4K 144Hz gaming monitor. That's right, a monitor that is 43 inches. Now, in case you haven't been following my channel for a long time, you would, well, if you have, you probably know that I have an affinity for very large 4K monitors. I used to use a 40-inch 4K monitor at my desk, a Korean monitor. It was 60 hertz. We're now using it as a TV in the bedroom because I changed around the displays in my office at the beginning of the year. But I absolutely love that monitor. And if it was a true gaming monitor, then I would have, probably used it as my main display and still be using it to this day. But I've been waiting for a proper 4K 144Hz monitor, and now that is here with HDR and all the other bells and whistles. So the monitor is called the CG437K-P, and yes, I did have to check the little info booklet here that Acer gave me because I haven't quite memorized the model number just yet. But yeah, basically 43-inch 4K monitor, 144 hertz, all that goodness. Pretty much everything we see in something like the Predator X27, which is my main gaming display right now, but in a much larger package. Now, this is not a IPS panel like the Predator X27. This is actually a VA panel. That's a vertical alignment, which means it is going to have much deeper blacks. Not as good color accuracy as IPS, but I actually prefer VA in terms of just gaming. For content creation, obviously I use an IPS because I need that color accuracy, but for just pure gaming, if I had the option, I would use a VA panel over IPS. It's also going to have 1 millisecond response time and 8-bit color, although it can do 10-bit color through dithering, so that's not ideal, but 8-bit color is pretty much going to be perfectly fine for any type of gaming needs. This is also a true HDR display in the sense that it does have 1000 nits of peak brightness, so none of that fake 400 HDR nonsense or HDR 600. This is a proper 1000 nit of peak brightness, which I think is essential to have a proper HDR monitor. And I feel like other monitors that aren't 1000 nits shouldn't even put HDR in the box because it's pretty much useless in my personal opinion. Now, during the event, they did list that it was going to support variable refresh rates, so it's not going to be a true G-Sync monitor. However, they said that it has been submitted to NVIDIA for G-Sync certification, and they are confident that it will be able to do that, as they have quite a few displays already that are FreeSync but G-Sync certified. And in my experience in testing, and if you've seen other people talking about it, as long as they get certified, or even if they're not certified in a lot of cases, it works just as well as a official G-Sync monitor. But this one will be FreeSync and variable refresh rate, which means it will also be supported on consoles. So something like the Xbox One, which now supports variable refresh rate, will be able to leverage this display. In regards to the 144 hertz, you will see some limitations with that, which is really just the fault of DisplayPort 1.4 and where we are right now with that. So in order to be able to use the 144 hertz, you would be required to use 2 DisplayPort connectors, which is the same thing with some of the other 4K 144 hertz monitors that have come out. And also, typically, and they haven't said anything about this yet, but based on everything we've seen so far with other displays that would need 2 for 144 hertz, that would also disable the variable refresh rate technology. As I said, they didn't confirm that with this monitor, but I have to assume that that would be the case, as it usually is with every other monitor out there. So yeah, over 1 DisplayPort cable, you could do 4K 120 hertz, which is how I run my Predator X27 with G-Sync, and it's perfectly fine. I don't really miss having the extra 24 hertz on top of 120 hertz. 120 hertz is absolutely fine, and my RTX 2080 Ti can easily drive this panel on it pretty much every single game, maxed out and getting over 60 FPS, which is really all you need to leverage a 144 Hz or 120 Hz display. I see so many people are like, oh, if you're not getting a locked 144 or locked 120, then what's the point? It's not really true. As long as you're getting over 60 frames per second and you're running on variable refresh rate or G-Sync, FreeSync, whatever you want to call it, it's amazing. You don't need to get a locked 120, 144 in my personal opinion. And, you know, this is coming from someone that used to be really anal about that and want to achieve that, but after years of gaming on high refresh rate displays, I realized that, you know, that's just kind of ridiculous to think that every game needs to be locked at your monitor's max refresh rate. It's ludicrous, honestly. One thing I was happy to see is that they are using internal power on this, so you're not going to need to have any external power bricks laying around or anything like that. There is no adjustable, you know, nothing adjustable on the stand. It just sits on your desk and you can't raise the height up, you can't tilt it, no pivot, swivel, anything like that, which is, you know, fine for a 43-inch display. I don't think you really need an adjustable stand like that. But I would have liked at least to have the option to use a VESA mount, and looking at the back of it, I did not see a VESA mount on there. It doesn't look like there would be any way to put one on there with the way that it is designed, you know, just aesthetically on the backside. As you can see, there's quite a few perforations. I'm sure that's to allow cooling because they do have the internal power supply in there. So they probably need that ventilation there in order to keep the monitor running cool so it doesn't overheat or anything. But yeah, it doesn't look like there's a VESA mount there, so you couldn't even have the option to put it onto a monitor arm or anything like that, which again, you know, I'm okay with. I probably wouldn't mount it anyway, but it would have been nice to at least have that option. Maybe something they could look at possibly doing in the future. But that's all I've got for you guys so far on this monitor, the CG437K-P. And yes, I need to look over my notes again for that because I still haven't memorized it. On stage, I think they just called it the CG7, which I think just rolls off the tongue a lot easier. So for now on, I think I'm just going to call it the CG7. But yeah, absolutely amazing monitor. The display looked fantastic. They had Metro Exodus running on it. I had a chance to play around on it, and it looked really, really good. The blacks were incredible. Some of the deepest blacks that I have seen outside of like an OLED TV or something like that. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, guys. Please let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below on the CG7 monitor from Acer. Hopefully we get a chance to get hands-on with it at some point in the future. As I said, we don't have a price or official release window yet, but I'm assuming it's probably going to have to be late 2019 or maybe early 2020 by the time we see this thing. But you know, they haven't said yet. They're still waiting for G-Sync certification for the variable refresh rate. So as soon as I got more information and pricing and things like that, I'll keep you guys updated on the channel, and be on the lookout. At some point in the future, I promise you I will be reviewing this monitor, so make sure you are subscribed for that content. If you enjoyed this video, leave a thumbs up on it, and I will catch you all tomorrow for another video. Tara.